I think we can all agree the whole point of this whole welding and manufacturing game is to make a lot of money. But what if I told you the welds that you're putting down could be costing you money? Here on today's episode, we've got 5 different welds out in front of us. I welded all of these welds yesterday, I think. We put down pretty much the same size fillet weld on these different T-joints. And the goal for today is to see how much each one of these welds is gonna actually cost me if I'm running a shop. I've got Chris Jennings here, who's a senior weld process specialist at Airgas, and you're gonna break down all the math for me and see what's coming out of my pocket.
Yep. We'll basically take the weld parameters used for each weld and quantify what that costs you, with all things being constant like labor rate, wire cost, and gas cost.
This is all very subjective to different applications, right? So the same wire and the same process used in a different application might cost a little different. So this is very specific to this 3/8 plate, the T-joint, 045 wire, same gas flow rates. You're gonna have to stick with us because it's about to get pretty mathematical.
Yes, sir.
Now here at Airgas, y'all teach the hidden cost of welding, right? And I think it's kind of an eye-opener and even a jaw-dropper for some people when they see the numbers that they get. We're gonna go over 3 different filler metals, 5 different applications with each one of these welds at about 1 foot long. And then we're gonna break down all the math that it takes to get cost per 1,000 foot of weld, which some of these shops might be doing in a day. What are some of the constants again that we gotta hold?
To quantify each weld, we're gonna have some constants, and that's gonna be what is our wire costing us per pound, what is our gas costing us per cubic foot, what our hourly shop rate is, and what our operator factor is. And the operator factor is basically what % of the time is our operators actually pulling the trigger and depositing welds out of the day.
In that 1 hour, we're gonna factor in like an hour, right? No welder out there is working a 10-hour shift in
They
welding.
have other welding functions that they are performing during the day. They're not pulling the trigger for a whole hour straight. They're doing other welder related things.
Right, and as you can see, there's a lot of math involved. Chris has done some figuring, and we even had Scott on his computer doing a bunch of mathematical stuff, checking all the math. I think we've got it all figured out, so let's dive into it.
For a single pass fillet weld like we have here, one way to quantify what that's costing you is cost per foot of weld. If we take our hourly rate, which is going to be constant in this situation, and then what does it cost us to melt that much wire over an hour, how much gas are we using over that same hour, and then we take into account how much of the time they're actually pulling the trigger, right? And then we divide that by how fast are we traveling and our operator factor, and that will give us a cost per foot for each foot of weld deposited at your weld settings.
Okay, I got you. And as far as the information that I was able to give you for my operator factor, we've got a weld size on this short circuit at 1/4 inch. We've got my settings right here, and then we've got my time right here, which is 158. This short circuit was the slowest for sure.
Absolutely. We're limited in short circuit to about 200 amps, so we have a finite amount of time to be able to increase that deposition rate or that travel speed. So $7.28 a foot is what this weld would have cost us at your weld settings. And one of the big factors here is we were limited to 6 inches a minute travel speed. You can only go 6 inches a minute depositing this much wire.
And 1,000 foot of weld, man.
Yeah, it's gonna take us 7,200.
$7 don't sound like a lot, but you put it into that perspective, sounds like a lot of money. And if you don't have anything to compare it to, you just might be thinking that that's what it costs.
Absolutely.
Moving into spray transfer. This one is a little different because we obviously upped some of these settings. We have a bigger weld size. The time it took got shaved down a lot. And I think that's pretty obvious. We should know that spray is going to be a lot faster than a short circuit, especially for this 3/8 plate. That short circuit sounded miserable when I was welding it. But this went a lot better. We still did the same math, right?
Absolutely, same math. To be in a spray transfer, we've got to be above that 200 amps, above 24 volts. So it took us a lot less time to get across that 12 inches. That faster travel speed dropped our cost per foot to $4.09 a foot.
Yeah, and again, when you just say it per foot, it doesn't sound like that drastic, but then you break it down to 1,000, we just saved a bunch of money in one day. One stinking day, we've saved $3,000 some odd dollars, somewhere around there.
Just by changing the motor transfer.
And you also explained this to me, because I put volts and amps here, and you wanted the wire feed speed, because that's going to help you get the melt-off rate and the deposition.
Yeah, so how we calculate melt-off rates based on the wire speed and diameter, and we can calculate how much are you melting into that weld puddle for every hour you're pulling the trigger.
And what I always thought was wire feed was your amperage, but not always, because your amperage might change depending on the operator.
Yeah, they're correlated. Sometimes the machine's going to be reading wire feed speed, sometimes it's going to be reading amperage, depending on how you set it.
But different.
Different, absolutely, especially for the math.
Now let's talk about pulse welding. Same wire diameter. We've got the same weld size here. We're running my amperage because in the pulse settings, you kind of synergic with that machine that I was using.
Right.
So we only needed to set that, and the time it took was just a hair bit longer than the spray transfer.
Yeah,
So
and that was probably due to our travel speed. When we calculated our travel speed, we were moving a little bit slower on this pulse weld than we were on the spray transfer weld. So that correlates into a larger fillet weld, a little bit more time, and you can see our cost per foot was just a little bit higher than the spray transfer at $4.87 a foot.
But it might be justifiable if you're using the process to weld out of position, whereas spray is not going to be able to work.
Absolutely.
At that point, you're going to have to bite the cost if you got that issue.
And human beings were designed to move dynamically, not linearly, so it's very hard to maintain the same travel speed all day long, every day.
The best part about dual shield flux core is welding it out of position.
Absolutely.
So we've got our same wire diameter, the wire type that we got here. This is a dual shield flux core wire, 5/16 weld size. Here are settings, or time it took was kind of comparable to the pulse. So it kind of makes sense being able to have that type of puddle, being able to still move out of position. I see you did the math, but kind of have some stuff crossed out. What happened, Chris?
So doing the math, human beings, we make mistakes, and I had an error in my math when I did the calculation. It was 14 inches a minute travel speed, but it turned out when I checked my math, it was 10.1 inches a minute travel speed. So we corrected our cost per foot to $4.53.
You better have corrected that. You would have made some empty promises
Absolutely,
there.
absolutely. You make decisions based on this, and the math's wrong, you're going to be in trouble.
You got a really comparable number here to our pulse transfer there. It kind of makes sense though, being able to take the same size wire, welding out of positions,
And really the big thing is our deposition or melt rate was about the same, and so we're depositing that same amount of filler metal into the joint. To maintain the weld size, we've got to move about the same speed.
But try to run that pulse vertical up compared to flux core vertical up.
This lives vertical up, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I love a good slick one. We can just tap it and that flux falls right off. Now moving into metal core, which is something that I'm not super familiar with.
Okay.
Any out of position metal core that I've ever done looks like dog crap. But doing it in a flat weld, you can weld really fast with this stuff.
And same thing with pulse. We can start to move out of position a little bit with metal core in a pulse situation, but without that pulse, just in a spray, we're kind of stuck to the flat and horizontal.
Right on, but it's still same wire size, 5/16 weld size, the settings, the time it took. Where was my time? Where was it? Where's the zipper? Boom. We already did the math. We knew where it was.
Yeah.
The time it took was actually really fast, and from what I hear, metal core, that's kind of where it shines, is speed.
Yeah, and we were able, you turn the wire feed speed up above the other processes a little bit, so we're melting off more into the weld joint, we're accomplishing more feet per hour of weld, and so it drops our cost per foot to $3.95 a foot.
And if I'm not mistaken, that right there is our cheapest weld right there.
Out of the 5 we have here is the least expensive way to deposit the metal.
So taking a look at our total costs, those people that are running short circuit transfer on 3/8 plates still, they are costing themselves quite a lot of money.
Short circuit has its place.
Do you ever see that going into shops and they're still short circuit welding some heavy stuff?
We see a lot of short circuit out in the industry still, yes.
And then when you break this cost down to them, you're like, man, you could probably save some cash.
And what we try to do is just educate our customers, educate our internal staff on what is this costing you and when should you be using it, so they can make the best business decision based on what they're trying to accomplish.
And again, this all breaks down to running on the specific wire diameter, the specific thickness of plate, in this position only, right?
Yeah. And really based entirely on the welds you made here.
Right. You got to take it with a grain of salt.
Absolutely. We're talking averages. If you made these 10 different times, they're going to be somewhere in this range.
What about the dude in his garage? Does he need to worry about cost of his foot of his weld?
Unless he doesn't care about money, he's got a whole bunch of it, it's not a big problem. For me, I weld some stuff in my home garage, and I want to pay attention to how much it costs me to deposit that weld.
You never know, guys, just how much these little things can cost you, including gas, including the time it takes to just stop and do things, the operator errors, all that kind of stuff. Man, it really could put a big dollar sign on the back end of it. We appreciate everyone for watching. We hope everyone learned something. And thanks, Chris, for all the...
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Man, my head hurts.